morning to you. It's a beautiful day here on Aso Radio and Television, and I hope that you're having a wonderful Tuesday morning as well. But as you already know here on the show, we have so much packed for you. We'll start with the newspaper review segment, after which we'll go to the interview segment where we get to discuss happenings around the world and how it affects you. We'll move on from that to the agriculture for today and tomorrow. For some of you who are already followers, you know that the segment that ensures that you're aware of little things you can do, even around your home, to grow food, grow vegetables. And if you want to go large scale, agriculture for today and tomorrow has got you too. So it promises to be very exciting. So stay with us as we now go to the newspapers after this short break, analyze those newspapers, get your best with what's going on around the world. We'll be back after that.
Africa stands at the front lines of the climate crisis. Over 600 million Africans still lack access to electricity. 1 in 3 face food insecurity due to climate-induced droughts and floods. By 2050, over 100 million people on the continent could be pushed into extreme poverty because of climate change. Plastic waste is piling, forests are vanishing, coastal cities are sinking. Yet, we are not powerless. Africa is also the youngest continent with 60% of its population under 25. We hold the energy, innovation, and drive to reshape the future. From solar-powered villages to bold climate tech, from green entrepreneurs to eco-warriors in slums and cities, the pulse of sustainability is rising. This is Sustainability Pulse with Ebide, the show where truth meets urgency and action meets hope. Together, we decode the data, amplify the change makers, and reclaim Africa's future, one story at a time. This is not just a show, it is a movement. Welcome to The Pulse.
Welcome back from that break. It's time for the newspapers. I'll just run through stories that made front page newspapers this morning and get you abreast with what's going on. Are you ready? Let's move to the Punch newspaper that will jumpstart this segment. The Punch has as its lead story here, it says, NEC fallout. NEC fallout. That's the National Executive Council fallout. Warring PDP blocs reunite for 2027 showdown. The PDP seems to be ready this time. It says, as the writer here says, Governors Damagun, Saraki, Assets, PDP Unity, 1 APC, Southeast PDP rejects Wike's allies return. Governors Damagun, Saraki, Asset, PDP Unity, 1 APC, Southeast PDP rejects Wike's allies return. Wike's allies, who could there be discussing? Well, other papers are more clear about who has returned as the National Secretary of the PDP. But moving ahead, we have the entire story. Remember that the FCT has a 17-day-long commissioning, 17-day long. And in all those days, newspapers are all splattered with that invitation for the commissioning that's going on. The president has attended some. It's been very wonderful seeing what the minister has done in less than 2 years of being a minister. But like he says, he's commemorating the 2-year anniversary of the president, and that's where we are seeing this commissioning. Again, I will reiterate that imagine for a moment, with all that is going on now and the projects that are going on now, imagine that states are simultaneously, call it commemoration of the 2-year anniversary of your administration, call it whatever. But imagine we are also recording this much project. Some of us wonder what's going on with the FAC allocation, the increased FAC allocation from the subsidy removal. I expect this from states as well, simultaneously. I expect ministers from other sectors to be churning out in commemoration of the president's 2 years. Call it whatever. I mean, the minister of the FCT is calling it commemoration. You could call it 2 years anniversary. You could call it celebrating Nigeria. Whatever you want to do, but let's see you work. And that is where I commend the Minister of the FCT. Call him what you may, but he is indeed Mr. Project. You cannot deny that. And we have a 17-day-long commissioning. I'm not sure what day we are at the moment, but today the President is welcome once again. President Tinubu is welcome to commission connecting roads in Dakibiu today. I don't even know where that is, and that goes also to show that a lot of those projects are not necessarily in the city centers, like a lot of people have alluded. Go to satellite towns and see what's going on simultaneously. You would agree with us in Abuja that indeed we have a Mr. Project as an FCT minister. Shame on you if you do not give him that credit. Well, again, it's the entire paper, the entire Punch newspaper has been taken by this advertisement. It says, President Tinubu to commission connecting roads in Dakibiu today. The Honorable Minister of the Federal Republic, the Federal Capital Territory, I beg your pardon there, Barrister Asonye Nyesumwike, CON, and the Honorable Minister of State, Dr. Maria Mahmood, on behalf of all residents of the FCT, welcomes His Excellency President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, GCFR, to the commissioning of the newly constructed Collector Road CN8. They call it Asukokon Street, from Arterial Road N5 or Bafemi Awolowo Way to Arterial Road N1 and other connecting roads in Dakibiu. I don't think I have ever heard that name before. Dakibiu, I don't think I've ever heard it. Whatever it may be, the Minister of the FCT is commissioning, and it's happening today, the Tuesday, the 1st of July, along Asukokon Street by Police Service Commission at 12 noon. That's the story right there. But moving away from that advertorial, the Punch newspaper has squeezed in there a story here. It says, emergency rule, Tinubu may restore Fubara Rivers lawmakers in July. Tinubu may restore Fubara Rivers lawmakers in July. And above the masthead of the newspaper, APC NEC convenes July 24th to decide Ganduje's successor. Remember that the national chairman of the APC resigned a couple of days ago, and the APC NEC is going to convene on the 24th of July to decide his successor. Is there going to be another consensus? Is it going to be an appointment? Is it going to be a national convention that we would see candidates? Gone are the days where we have that national convention and candidates struggle for that post. Gone are the days, the good old days. These days is a consensus, and the powers that be just appoint or decide. But I still believe that we should go back to the times when it is strongly fought for. I think that's what democracy is all about, where not who a bloc things would serve their personal interest, and that is where we see the problems in the political parties and the political space. I feel like we should have everybody go. Like they say, digger it in. See how popular you are within the APC. Try yourself, and let's see what people think. Are you that popular? Then your political party should elect you. Why is that word eluding me? Elect you national chairman. I hope it's not going to be another consensus. Somebody who comes in, becomes the national chairman, plays by the book of a certain bloc, and then we don't see the party thriving. It's just for the interest of certain individuals. Okay, so with that, we move on now to the Vanguard, the Guardian, the Guardian newspaper this morning. And the Guardian has here how interest overlapping roles may undermine new tax regime. Now this is talking about the president's new tax regime. It says how interest overlapping taxes rules, rather interest overlapping rules may undermine new tax regime. I wonder what that means. How interest overlapping rules may undermine new tax regime. Well, that story is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Is on page 6 of the Guardian newspaper. Overlapping roles, interest and overlapping roles. I'm trying to figure it out. I mean, I've gone through the tax reform, but we need an expert. I guess we'll just get an expert to come explain it better, what this new tax regime really entails, what is the need for private sector, what's the need for businesses. I mean, we've had conversations around who pays tax, who is exempted, how do you enjoy dividends from tax and all that, but it's all in the tax bill right there. Obi denies pact with Atiku, backs rotational presidency. Obi denies pact with Atiku, backs rotational presidency. Finally, it seems to be clear. Peter Obi is coming out to say, I am not part of the coalition, but one thing is for sure, he must have been wooed, because we saw pictures. We did see pictures, and we knew that conversations were rife, engagements and consultations were ongoing. A lot of speculations are very rife at the moment. A lot of people are saying there was actually no way an Obi and Atiku would be part of the coalition, because Obi wants to be president just as much as Atiku. Atiku's ambition, even a blind man can see. Atiku wants to be president. And a lot of people also are pointing to a possible El-Rufai wanting to be president. I don't know about Babachir Lawal, but I mean, these are individuals who are strong politicians. How would Obi have joined this pact, this coalition, to be vice? That would be a slap on the obedience around the globe that have been supporting him wholeheartedly. You know, so we knew from the word go that that pact would not have an Obi in it, because Obi, for one, wants to be president. Atiku wants to be president. Atiku will tell you, oh, there's a certain region in the north that has not gotten presidency for over 16 years, and for that reason, I am running. It's not fair to the PDP. And I'm like, oh, if the PDP has not had a northern president, Nigeria has had a northern president as recently as 2 years ago. Well, that's it right there. The story is on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. Obi denies pact with Atiku, backs rotational presidency. And we at the moment do not know if Obi, okay, I saw a story yesterday evening that Obi had finally declared his intentions to run for 2027 elections. That's no news. We already knew that was going to happen. But yes, I think the ball is now rolling. He's not mincing words. If he's coming to you to converse, you already know he wants to be president. There's no going back and forth. Away from that story, Senator Natasha arraigned on alleged cyber crime, granted bail, okay? PDP upbeat on party's prospect after NEC meeting. Okay's Anyawu's reinstatement. Some PDP members are kicking against that, but they would always kick now, won't they? There's always going to be people who are not excited about anything. I don't think there's such a decision you can make that will not elicit some reaction from people. But PDP reinstate or okays Anyawu's reinstatement. Court sentences pastor to 25 years imprisonment for defiling daughter. That right there should be the lead story if you ask me. We need these stories out there. Court sentences pastor to 25 years imprisonment for defiling daughter. For some of us who are in that space, working day and night to stop issues like this, it is a win for us. It's not every day we get a court ruling and punitive measures enacted on people who commit this crime. So It is exciting that we would have this. I wish editors would take this more seriously, put it in front page boldly. Let's have people know that there are consequences to this. It's embarrassing that we are still recording sexual harassment and defilement for children and minors. But this is a good one, a religious leader who should know better, a religious leader who is looked up to, revered in some cases. I've seen people respect their religious leaders more than they respect their God even. I see them change their attitude immediately the religious leader is there. I've seen people having to clean their shoes and bow their heads to the toes of them. And I'm like, oh, okay. I wish we understand that God is everywhere. And if he is everywhere, this attitude should be only to God. But these are individuals we revere in society. And imagine what he has done. It is really sad. But I'm happy it's out here in the newspapers. I'm happy it's even in the front page. I wish it was bolder. People need to be deterred. People need to understand that there are consequences to these things. I really hope that this would send a message that you cannot go scot-free if you do this in Nigeria. Moving away from that, report links 871,000 yearly deaths to loneliness. I really wanted to say that part. Report links 871,000 yearly deaths to loneliness. Unfortunately, with globalization comes some sort of loneliness. A lot of us are lonely in crowds, and nobody is the wiser. We have shut ourselves up and linked ourselves with the mobile phones, with internet. You don't see how lonely people are in the bid to make ends meet. You don't check up on your neighbor. I read a story not long ago of a man that passed away in Nigeria and wasn't discovered for 3 days. For 3 days, nobody knew he had passed away. And that's what we are beginning. In a couple of years ago, you would never think it. You don't think it's even possible that someone will pass on and not be seen in hours. But that's what we are beginning to record in our beautiful country, where we used to be so communal. In fact, your neighbors do not need to tell you they are coming to your home. They just come. But here we are beginning to be so protective of ourselves. All of a sudden, everyone is talking about privacy. You know, you're in my space. Please move away from my space. We keep hearing things like that. It's really, really saddening that's who we are becoming. And loneliness, it may not present itself as, oh, okay, you're lonely and so you're going to the hospital, but you would be susceptible to illnesses. There's a report that also shows that socializing elongates your lifespan. So you will be, your immune, if you are not releasing dopamine, of course, your immune system would be compromised. And 871 deaths yearly linked to loneliness. That's the saddest thing. And in Africa, we're beginning to be so lonely. We're beginning to have fences so high. We're beginning to have our space. We don't want anybody in our space. But research has showed you that it is just as dangerous. Okay, calls to strip president of powers to appoint INEC officials intensifies. Oh yeah, I agree with that. I support that. Calls to strip president of power to appoint INEC officials intensify. I mean, who pays the piper, right? I should expect that we could have better mechanisms for appointing someone who would lead an independent electoral commission, an independent, devoid of the executive influences, devoid of political influences. Who would lead the charge? Who would do that if not the president, right? And imagine in instances, the president would always have political interest. Always, whether he's running again or he wants a successor, there's always going to be political interest. And in this part of the world where structure is very important, imagine having the INEC chairman on speed dial. Okay? And it would also increase voter confidence. Above everything, it would increase voter confidence. Then again, yeah, it would increase voter confidence because Nigerians will now know that, okay, this person is indeed independent. He's not going to enjoy the influence, or rather be subject to influence from anyone. But who would do it? And who is completely apolitical enough to say, you know what, yes, this is a group of, let's say, a group of CSOs. Oh, this is a group of CSOs. We have appointed this one. Is he actually? We should just appoint good people, I guess. Residents urge Fubara to make public peace conditions with Wike. Residents urge Fubara to make public peace conditions with Wike. The internet has gone wild, speculating what that peace pact could mean. What does a peace pact mean? We've heard several speculations, some of them ridiculous. But yes, we've heard that, talking about how what deal could Fubara have agreed to have a Wike stand beside him and agree that, oh, he's always going to be my son. After getting the state so volatile, the state has been in the news for all the wrong reasons. As a matter of fact, the emergency rule, if you ask me, brought peace and calm to the state. But for pockets of agitation, oh no, he's a democratically elected governor and all that. But yeah, I feel like it should be made public. We need to know. I want to know what the president has said, because the president had some time ago also convened a peace meeting. There was 8 point reconciliatory agenda, or whatever that means, and yes, it was signed by both parties, and it didn't seem to bring the calm that we all hoped for in Rivers State. But I'm hoping that this pact, or this peace and reconciliatory move, would be long-term, one that would see both parties work not just for their personal interest, this time for the interest of the state. We've heard people say that one of the facts is Fubara will not contest the second time, and we've had several speculations. But, well, he's the executive governor. Nobody can take that away from him. He is the executive governor. If he feels like he has gained structure enough to contest the second time, it's within his right. But again, is it not this Similai Fubara who also came up to say, look at me, I'm putting on weight, I'm looking fresh after the emergency rule. So I don't see him going for a second term. He had a terrible, terrible first term experience. But maybe that's part of the plan. That's part of the pact, that he will not run a second time. Is that it? I have no idea. How Shetima stoked APC's early NEC meeting. How Shetima stoked APC's early NEC meeting. That story is on page 4 of the Guardian newspaper. And there's something about the Guardian newspaper. They do not just give you the story, they go comprehensive. Their stories has so much depth that you leave that feeling very good about yourself, having read through the history. They don't mince words. But that's it for the Guardian newspaper this morning. We'll just quickly now go to the Business Day newspaper. The Business Day is taking us to after opens billion-dollar opportunities for truckers. Airline, the Africa Continental Free Trade Agreement opens billion-dollar opportunity for truckers. Airlines. Here on the show yesterday, we talked about how there is so much cargo waiting to leave the shores of Nigeria, so much cargo. And if there's a billion-dollar opportunity for truckers and airlines, especially one that will transport cargo, I think it will be such a relief for Nigerian exporters. Some time ago, it's very interesting, our the dynamism of our economic trends. Some time ago, we were all about exporting. We have to position to export. We have gotten to a point where we are now asking, are we exporting too much? Have we really dealt with local consumption? Have we dealt with local consumption enough? Or are we taking from local consumption now to export? And the exporters are saying, I can't help myself. I'm a businessman. I have to do business. And Nigerians are saying, are you doing business at the expense of Nigerians because you're exporting products that do not seem to be enough? The prices have spiked because, of course, it's the scarcity of this product. There's another school of thought that would say, have you ever gone to the market and not seen ugu? We do say it, but why then is it so expensive? A lot of people will ask. So it's beautiful. We are going to be recording a $1 billion opportunity for truckers. That story, okay, it's not mentioned here, but it's on the Business Day newspaper this morning. Nigeria's VAT overhaul tilts power to state, eases household burden. Okay, that's an interesting read. Let me give you a quick excerpt into that story. It says, in a country where fiscal power has long rested in Abuja, Nigeria's newly signed value-added tax reform could quietly rebalance economic control, handing more revenue to states and easing cost pressure on family and businesses. Signed into law on the 26th of June by President Bola Tinubu, the new tax reform package introduces sweeping changes to how VAT is applied, recovered, and distributed. 4 key shifts centered on input VAT recovery, zero-rated essential goods, mandatory e-invoicing, and revised revenue sharing formula could reshape how Nigerians pay taxes. Okay, there's a sense of fulfillment over signing this new tax that's coming from the chairman of the Presidential Tax Reform Committee, Taiwo Oyedele. But that said, we are just very excited about this tax reform. The regime seems to be one that will really favor and ease the burden on families and small businesses. So it's a very good, welcome development right there. We have another story here, the African continent. Okay, yeah, that's the African continental story. I'll just quickly give you an idea of this 1 billion naira. Is it naira now? $1 billion opportunity. So the African Continental Free Trade Area has created an opportunity for truckers, airlines, and players in the logistics and transportation sector. About 2.2 million trucks valued at $345 billion would be needed for trade facilitation under the AfTA between now and 2045, according to the African Export-Import Bank, Afrexim Bank. Similarly, 243 aircraft valued at $25 billion would be required, with 160,000 rail wagon estimated at $336 billion. That's exciting. It's exciting that we are beginning to record this inter-regional trade. The African Free Continental Trade Area is something that a lot of us have been pushing for. Let's have this. Imagine we first of all ease trading among ourselves within Africa. Imagine how easy, how much a lot of us would thrive in everything we're doing. We are a continent of 2 billion. Imagine 2 billion people trading amongst themselves. You have leather, I have cocoa, you have, and we trade among ourselves. Live global first. We would be a powerhouse, really. And that's why some of us really often support the African Continental Free Trade Area. It's something all of us should support and see how we can ease and improve and enhance trade amongst ourselves. With that, we move on now to the Blueprint newspaper. The Blueprint newspaper here has as its lead story still talking about the PDP issues. It says ceasefire as Anyanwu returns as PDP scribe. 101st neck holds July 23rd. 101st neck holds July 23rd. Again, it has in the entire paper taken by that invitation by the president or by the minister of the FCT, inviting the president to commission the newly constructed roads that I had mentioned earlier. But we'll move on quickly to the Vanguard newspaper. The Vanguard, like the other stories, also has the entire front page taken. But the Vanguard was able to squeeze in some stories right here. It says PDP faction close ranks, affirms Anyanwu as national secretary. PDP factions close ranks, affirms Anyanwu as national secretary. And above that, that story, it says kidnappings. Youth set Emir's palace, NDLA office ablaze in Kwara. I saw that unfortunate video, and I'm sure a lot of people saw it because it went viral, how young people set the Emir's palace ablaze, and the NDLA in protest of kidnapping. That for now is unclear how it connects to the Emir's palace and the NDLA. And the NDLA has been doing a lot of work. I'm surprised the young people attacked that office. I would say, I'm a journalist, I will not speculate, but I saw the video, the story at the time is unclear, but you too can pick a copy. It's on page 8 of the Vanguard newspaper to discuss how did it connect? How did you find it necessary to set a government facility ablaze? That's completely uncalled for. But you know these things, when irate youths want to do something, I don't think reasoning comes in at all. The Emir's palace, your traditional ruler. Gone are the days when you will feel like thunder will fire you immediately. You even dream of going close to your traditional ruler. You will not dare. I promise you, you would not dare. You know, but that reverence is gradually eluding us. We've seen our traditional rulers. Maybe globalization has come in, and so that respect, that reverence for the traditional institution, the stool. Oh, there's such a time you don't want to be summoned by your traditional ruler. You do not want to be summoned by your traditional ruler, because so much can happen to you. You can be banned. Your family can be exiled. You know, there's a subtle blacklisting that even happens. So I cannot understand why these irate youths went towards the Emir's palace, burning it down, and NDLA office, and you could see them. They were so angry. You can't help yourself but ask, what is going on here? What is going on here? How have you gotten so angry? If you think that kidnappings in the area has become too rife, aren't there ways you can address this? Do Nigerians even know how to address their grievances, especially when it's security related? Do they know where to go to? Do they know they can petition the IGP? Do they know they can get attention? They can even go to the media to cry out, or rather raise alarm. Some people hate that phrase, cry out. But raise alarm as to how it's becoming very rampant, criminality or kidnapping. Why get so angry? How does that solve any issue? And that's why sometimes when there's a protest, no matter the good intentions towards protest, I can imagine the government never wants protest. It never ends well. Call it hijack by some, according to instrument of certain individuals who wants to hijack the protest. But this is what happens when irate youths come together. The Emir's palace is burned down, the NDLA office is burned down, and you ask yourself, why? Well, it's top of the hour at the moment. We'll go for a short break. When we return, we'll continue the conversation. This is still Aso Morning. Stay with us. We'll be right back shortly.
In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future.
Africa stands at the front lines of the climate crisis. Over 600 million Africans still lack access to electricity. 1 in 3 face food insecurity due to climate-induced droughts and floods. By 2050, over 100 million people on the continent could be pushed into extreme poverty because of climate change. Plastic waste is piling, forests are vanishing, coastal cities are sinking. Yet, we are not powerless. Africa is also the youngest continent with 60% of its population under 25. We hold the energy, innovation, and drive to reshape the future. From solar-powered villages to bold climate tech, from green entrepreneurs to eco-warriors in slums and cities, the pulse of sustainability is rising. This is Sustainability Pulse with Ebide, the show where truth meets urgency and action meets hope. Together, we decode the data, amplify the change makers, and reclaim Africa's future one story at a time. This is not just a show, it is a movement. Welcome to the Pulse.
We are a nation blessed with people of diverse cultures, religions, languages, and opinions. It is ironic that we are now being ripped apart by our greatest strength, our diversity. We have allowed intolerance, insensitivity, bigotry, and nepotism to blind our vision of the greatness we can achieve working together as one. We may not have the same culture, nor religion, nor language, but we all belong to the same nation by the divine will of God. We did not choose to be Nigerians. Nigeria chose us. This nation is our divine heritage, and if we open our eyes, we would realize that what divides us pales in comparison to what unites us. And by the comparison and conciliation of our differences, we will grow until our differences disappear. Our unity cannot be willed by mere declarations, nor do we get unity by ignoring the questions that beg for answers. We must celebrate our diversity and debate our differences without fracturing our unity. Our strength is not in our numbers, but in our unity, because even the weak become strong when united. Nigeria unite.
This message is brought to you by Abuja Broadcasting Corporation, owners and operators of Aso Radio 93.5 FM Abuja, Aso Television DSTV Channel 392, Star Times Terrestrial Channel 127, Free TV Channel 507, People's TV Channel 285, and UHF Channel 38.
The welfare of millions of people for generations to come may be affected by the wisdom which we here display. If Nigerian leaders and our British partners are to prove themselves worthy of their trust, now is the time for us solemnly and truly to dedicate ourselves to seeking the greatest good of the greatest number of our people in Nigeria. Independence for Nigeria in 1960 is imperative. But independence for Nigeria as a corporate entity is not enough. The peoples of Nigeria must at the same time be guaranteed their freedom. We must ensure that in an independent Nigeria, individual citizens throughout the land enjoy liberty, human dignity, and equality under the law. There must be one Nigeria with one constitution and one law for all. Let us therefore, Mr. Chairman, sir, close our ears to the counsel of despair, which says that we cannot here at this conference agree on a constitution. If there's any doubt among us as to what should be written into the constitution, let us, as Democrats that we profess ourselves to be, refer such problems, as the Gaulle has done recently, to the people whom we profess to represent, either just before or at the federal elections late in 1959.
Our first efforts at democracy and self-government were abruptly arrested in the mid-60s, largely as a result of the incongenial atmosphere engendered by the uncompromising stance adopted by the political parties of the First Republic. Thus, opportunities were lost for our people to interact and learn to accommodate different points of view for the betterment of the country. We must not allow that episode to repeat itself. The new system that we have adopted presents us with yet another opportunity to achieve national integration, which is a prerequisite for the building of a strong and virile nation.
Nigeria as a free state in 20th century Africa is the need to revive the stature of man in Africa and restore the dignity of man in the world. Nigerians believe passionately in the fundamental human rights. We regard all races of the human family as equal. Under no circumstance shall we accept the idea that the black race is inferior to any other race. I appeal to all our leaders, far and near, to forget the wounds which were inflicted in cause of our internecine altercation. The love of our country should outweigh the love of our petty selves. The enjoyment of individual freedom under the law should mean more to us than our self-centered party programs and manifestos. Common dangers and common enemies alert us on the need for common security. Come and join Abubakar with me, Sadauna, Awolowo, Akitola, Ofarebe, Okpara, Ikoku, Aminu Kano, Ibrahim Imam, and Saka. Let us bind the nation's wound and let us heal the breaches of the past so that in forging our nation, there shall emerge on this continent a hate-free, fear-free, and greed-free people who shall be in the vanguard of a world task force whose assignment is not only to revive the stature of man in Africa, but to restore the dignity of man in the world.
In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future. In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future. In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions.
Many thanks for joining us back. Well, we had promised you an interview earlier, but unfortunately that would not be happening. But that's not going to stop us from still discussing what's going on around the political space. We see that conversations are becoming rife again, consultations and NEC meetings here and there. But what is indeed really happening to political parties? How can we have that kind of structure that gives the awareness necessary for Nigerians? It's really saddening to know that above and beyond garnering support for elected positions, there's so much more responsibilities that a political party should have. Are we really going through, do we even know the roles of political parties in our country? That is what I would be discussing. And I really need your attention to this so that you can also hold your political parties accountable, so that if they are not doing the right thing, you could say, okay, above everything, this is what your role is, to ensure that apart from garnering support for your election, for your candidate, what else is the role of political parties in the society, especially Nigeria, where we have, it's a semi, like some people will say, is a semi-literate, I don't like to say that, it's a semi-literate country. Now, political parties have often become just bridges between government and the people. In Nigeria, we have 18 at the moment. We are seeing that a lot of more political parties are trying to be registered. That was 2019, I think. Several parties were deregistered. We had over 100 political parties in Nigeria. I could not keep up with how many political parties we had. They were deregistered and reduced to 18, and now we have 18 that 110 more are trying to get registered again. All sorts of reasons and ideologies. I don't think we need more political parties. I think we need stronger political parties. Now let's get into the gist. First of all, the roles of political parties in society, especially in Nigeria, are really fundamental to a functioning democracy. That's one thing we should bear in mind. A role of political parties are really fundamental, is a foundation of a functioning democracy, governance, and national development. So let's break down roles, key roles that emphasize, especially in the Nigerian context, the roles of political parties. Let's, first of all, political parties serve as bridges between the government and the people. In Nigeria, parties like the APC, PDP, Labour Party, NNPP, Zenith Party, and the rest of them field candidates to represent citizens at local, state, and federal levels. Now, the elections of lawmakers, governors, and presidents is often shaped by the strength and structure of political parties across the country. Please listen carefully, because we need to understand why we even need political parties, beyond just ensuring as vehicles for candidates to emerge in public offices. What else are the functions and roles of political parties? The parties, this is where I am going to hammer, educate citizens about their rights, democratic values, national issues. The parties educate citizens about their rights, democratic values, and national issues. Through campaigns, manifestos, rallies, they are supposed to raise awareness about governance and policies. Now, governance and policies, meaning, should there be a policy right now, it is your political party, especially the one in power, that it is their job to explain, because it is perceived that whatever policy the public office holder enacts, it is based on the ideology of the political party. It aligns with what the political party believes. So your political party is supposed to educate you about policies and governance. Now let's talk about aggregation of interest. They are supposed to unify diverse interests, ethnic, religious, regional interests into a common political platform. This is crucial in a multi-ethnic nation just like Nigeria, where we have parties often from coalitions that accommodate different zones or interest groups. We have the North, the South, the different religious and traditional beliefs all in one. So the party unifies diverse interests. That in some way is supposed to ensure unity of our nation. The party is supposed to recruit and nominate leaders. Political parties identify, they are supposed to also groom. That's something the political parties forget to do. Or maybe they do it inadvertently, where the only grooming that happens is watching others stumble, fall, and maybe learning lessons. That's if you have good intentions, learning lessons from that. But groom candidates for public office. It gives the structure of leadership succession, where you know that these individuals have gone through, understand the ideology of the party, understand where the party's head is at in several issues around socio-economic issues and all that. But I don't think political parties in Nigeria care enough to groom candidates for succession. Like I had said earlier during the newspaper review segment, where we talked about the role the political parties. Often what just happens is, in fact, the very, very concerning trend we are recording lately is this concession. Oh, it's a concession. Oh, we gathered party leaders and we have nominated this individual. You leave others aggrieved, because not everyone, of course, is going to emerge in that political office. But one thing is for sure, give everyone the level playing field to fight it out. And so when you rob anyone of the opportunity to test his popularity, do it even just that exercise of testing your popularity, you leave people aggrieved. In turn, they do not have trust in the process. You see us trying to look for all sorts of ways to steal the mandate and all of that. You see competition that is not healthy. So it's really unfortunate. So let's go to policy formulation and governance. I don't know if political parties in power set the national development agenda based on their manifestos. Very often we hear, I'm going to do this, I am going to do this, I am the man for the job. I would ensure that you all sleep in bed feathers, you all sleep in, but does that really happen where parties in power set the national development agenda based? Caring, he thought about us. Caring, he thought about us. She thought about us. She knows what we want, because a lot of us really want food. We just want chop. Like I saw a very funny viral video. It says, if you're president for a day, what would you do? He said, I'll go first chop. I just need to chop. That cracks me up all the time. But unfortunately, that's what happens in our climate, where Nigerians just want chop. So give them food, they will vote for you. Very concerning, because very often the people who can afford to give that many people their rice and bags of whatever aren't necessarily in all cases those with good intentions. They must have spent so much in doing that, and these are monies that they would definitely recoup. So what happens when they emerge? They will first of all recoup the monies they spent during elections, giving you that money, instead of going into projects and dividends of democracy that you should even enjoy. So very concerning. So like I was saying, parties in power are supposed to set the national agenda, development agenda, based on their manifesto, so that Nigerians or people can know what they really want to do. This helps drive policies that align with ideology or promises. So example is a government that could come with a certain agenda, for instance, We had the change agenda, we had the renewed hope agenda, which was change was focusing on anti-corruption and security. So remember when former President Goodluck Jonathan was running again, he said breath of fresh air, and his was economic reforms and liberalization, and all of that. So everyone comes with these agendas, but afterwards, what happens? Another role of the political parties is accountability and opposition, which is very important. And then you would understand why, especially when a lot of people started feeling like, oh, top stalwarts, political stalwarts, and top figures in the political space are all joining the APC. You ask yourself, where lies the opposition that would ensure that very important checks and balances? But let me tell you why opposition is important. Opposition parties are supposed to hold the ruling parties accountable. They serve as watchdogs, critics to government actions, and offer alternative policies. I would also criticize the opposition, because sometimes when you hear them oppose government policies, it's coming from a place of what's the word now? Childlike anger. You don't see that constructive criticism that says this is the reason why this policy is not, maybe say, people-centric. This policy is not going to help us economically. It's just, oh, he has come up with a policy, it's not going to help, without alternative policies. Oh, you see, they don't have good policy. You don't come with solutions. But Nigerian opposition is always countering. No matter how good the policy may be, you are sure to hear counter and criticism. I'm not saying you should go applauding, but if you have criticism, also come with alternative solutions or policies that should correct whatever. Remember that above everything, it is the betterment of you and I, isn't it? But this is where we'll end this segment, because Daniel Black is coming up next, or the Daniel Black team is coming up next with agriculture for today and tomorrow. But I hope you learned a lot as to what the role of political parties are, so that you would also hold your political party accountable if you do not see that people are politically aware. Because politicians just sit back, political parties rather just sit back until it's election time to campaign. But after that, what? Well, Daniel Black is coming up next with agriculture for today and tomorrow. We would be right back after that.
In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream, GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greenhouse solutions. Together, let's grow the future. In the heart of our fields lies the future of agriculture, sustainable, innovative, and powered by smart solutions. From the rich soil of Africa to high-tech farms around the globe, agriculture is evolving to meet the demands of tomorrow. At the intersection of tradition and technology, we discover smarter ways to grow more, waste less, and harvest greener. Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Agriculture for Today and Tomorrow, where we promote smart solutions for greener harvest. I remain Daniel Black, your host, and this is a Media for Agricultural Development project of GSAI, that's Growth for Sustainable Agriculture Initiative. Did you know that we are in the month of mental health? Did you know that mental health is an issue that cuts across everybody, both young and old, educated and non-educated, and any kind of social strata or classification you want to use? This month, as farmers, as stakeholders in the agricultural sector, we will be commemorating the mental health, because this is the month of mental health. And today on Agriculture for Today and Tomorrow, we are spotlighting a mental health activist, a mental health advocate, someone that has been talking so much in mental health and has gone beyond talking and even penning down guides to mental health. Penning them, so importantly, this guide is that even the Federal Ministry of Youth and Youth Development got to align and got to identify with this guide and even got to be part of its launching. So today we are going to be talking with Lucy E. Abel, the founder and executive director for Mental Health for Youth Initiative, and we are going to be talking on a topic, or it's not a topic, but we are going to be spotlighting the Embrace Your Mind and Mental Health guide. Do farmers need this guide? Let us get to know about it. Lucy, welcome to the show.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
Lucy, I must say I am very proud of you. I am very, very proud of the work you're doing around mental health. And as farmers, you know, we need to begin to explore how we manage our mental health. So without taking so much time, let us just get to see. Can you lift the book? Let us see your mental health guide. You know, it's your baby, and I know how long you've been working on this, and for it to come to a fruition. So tell us about the book, the bit history. Let's start from when you ideated this.
Right. So 4 years ago.
4 years ago.
Yes. So in 2023, 22.
Yes.
We had reached out to the Ministry of Youth. We registered with them as a non-profit, and we thought the mental health of young people, nothing's really been said about it. And if you really look at it, when mental health issues are addressed from a young age, you are more likely to have a healthier
It's easier to build a boy than repair a man.
Yeah, exactly. That's really, thank you for that. So it's easier to build a boy or a girl.
No, a girl. Thank you.
Than to repair a man or a woman, right? So we looked at it from that aspect, and we said there's a need for young people to be empowered with the right information on their mental health, to know what are the signs, because there are times that we go through things and we don't even know what it is. We don't even have any idea of, okay, this is what this most likely is, and now I notice this, what should I do? You know, when you don't have that information, you're just confused. And using our biological cycle, when you begin to hit puberty, a lot of hormones begin to change in your body. You begin to, have a lot of especially like the women, where your hormones begin to rise and fall and all of those bits. So when you have the right information, you're able to be like, okay, this is what's going on with me. So maybe I need help. Maybe I need to speak to someone. Maybe it's so severe, I need to seek actual professional help and all of that. And that's what this book is really about.
Embrace your mind. Embrace your mind. Could you just run us through a few of the key contents in Embrace Your Mind?
Right. So the book really highlights the mental health issues that young people face. So in the book here, you would see cases of like depression. So we looked at what are the most common issues amongst young people.
Okay.
And if you get to have access to the book, it's very infographic.
Oh wow. Yes.
Heavy on infographics, so it's easy on the eyes of the young people. And it was also the foreword was written by the Honorable Minister of Youth.
Oh, wow.
So we are very grateful to the Ministry of Youth for working with us on this project. We thought there's a need for young people to be empowered.
We will be having another episode where we'll dedicate to talking about the mental health issues that farmers would face. But before we go into that elaborate session, do you, as farmers, of course, here we promote everything agriculture. Would farmers benefit from this, your book?
Oh yes, most definitely.
Please expatiate. How would we?
Thank you for that question. So the book really is an information booklet, like it's a mental health guide, and it talks about the basic mental health issues, which is general to everyone. So it's not unique to only these people. However, there's certain situations that, like for example, for farmers, you'd so someone who has experienced a bandit attack.
Yes.
They have a unique experience which would lead them to having trauma-related mental health disorders and all. So their experiences, obviously. So this book captures different mental health challenges, a breakdown of it. It's very easy to understand. It's actually designed for young people to understand, so it's easy to understand.
Okay. Like I said, I'm going to, let me put you on the spot here. I'm inviting you for another episode on this show where we will talk about farmers and the mental health issues that they face, and I'm sure you cannot say no on air.
Yeah, I'll be very glad to be back.
Excellent, excellent. So thank you so much. So, but before we round up, how can someone get access to this?
So we have a Google form that is on our social media pages. So you fill the form and we would get in touch.
Oh, okay, okay. So
we're also
what's your social media page?
Our social media page is MHYI_Nigeria, on Instagram, on LinkedIn, on TikTok, on X. Yeah. So and also on YouTube.
MHYI_Nigeria. So if they go there, they will find how to get this book across. Interesting.
Yeah. In the meantime, we'd want to donate this to your library.
Oh wow. Yeah. Thank you so much. This is beautiful. Embrace your mind. So we'll be taking this to our library and ensuring that farmers get to understand the concept of mental health. Thank you so much. On behalf of all of us at GSAI, we are excited to begin to explore this, and of course, like I said, this will also serve as the basis for our next conversation when you come on air.
And we are also open to doing awareness creation to the farmers.
Of course, that is a given. That is a definite given. Thank you so much, Lucy Abeng of the Mental Health for Youth Initiative, for spending time to come celebrate the month of mental health with us.
Together, we are cultivating a future where every harvest sustains the earth and its people. Join us 9:30 a.m. Monday to Fridays on Aso TV, channel 392 DSTV, Star Times, channel 127, or YouTube live stream, GSA Initiative. Agriculture for today and tomorrow, as we share groundbreaking ideas, empowering farmers, and celebrate greener solutions. Together, let's grow.
And that's it for Aso Morning this beautiful, beautiful day. The weather is so beautiful. Some of us just want to go rest, but there's no peace for the wicked, right? I'm not wicked, I'm just saying. I wish it would be one of those days you can just go back and relax. I hope you have a productive day. Don't take my advice, don't go and relax. It's a weekday. Go out there and hustle and do what you have to do. But this is where we draw the curtains on today's show. My name is Dr. Joy Asonye saying thank you so much for being part of the show.